Good morning and welcome to our last Discover Dallas ISD virtual session for this year. Buenos días y bienvenidos a nuestra última sesión de Discover Dallas ISD para este año. Si quiere escuchar esta presentación en español, por favor busque el icono del mundo en la parte inferior de su pantalla y pulse en él. Seleccione la opción en español para comenzar a escuchar la interpretación en español. Si esto no funciona, salga e inténtelo nuevamente. Este servicio no funciona con los dispositivos Chrome, así que le recomendamos utilizar dispositivos Apple o Android. Si tiene alguna dificultad, por favor, háganoslo saber en el Q&A, que también se encuentra en la parte inferior de la pantalla. Thank you so much again for being with us this morning. We look forward to your questions and to your participation. We have a lot of experts here, and we will start the presentation if Diana, if you want to start sharing. Because this will help me keep track of what I need to say. Next slide. So we're, just so you know, we're just going to go through the programs, and we will cover questions at the end. But if you're anything like me, I think of questions along the way, and so you can type your questions in the Q&A that's at the bottom of your screen at any time. We will be answering those questions maybe halfway through the presentation. We'll start answering those questions there, but we'll also answer them live at the end of the presentation. But you can start typing them in at any time. If there are very specific questions, we might not get to answer them live or in there, because everybody will see those answers, and we want to respect your particular circumstances. So we might not get to those. But if you do have particular questions, we have a phone bank that will go live today at 11 a.m. from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And that number is 972-925-5560. And you can call it for help with filling out the application, or if you have any questions left from today after listening to the presentations. We have the enrollment experts live to help you out with that. They are also available Monday to Friday from 7:30 to 5 p.m. And that number again is on your screen. It's 972-925-5560. And you can also find information at 972-925-5560. We do have a lot of participants, which is fantastic. But because of that, we can't really answer questions live with you letting you speak and raising your hand. So if you have any questions, please again put them in the Q&A, and we will get to you that way. Next. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to walk you through the actual application. So you can, if you've never done the application before, we're going to walk you through that. And if you still have questions or you need help filling it out, we have our Central Office of Centralized Enrollment. We have 1 centers that are staffed during the week from 7:30 to 5, and you can find those locations. You can get the help by calling on the phone, but you can also go in person, and you can find those locations by visiting www.dallasisd.org/1. And their number is the same number that we're using for the phone bank today, 972-925-5560, and they're great experts. And actually, Valerie Barron who is one of the experts, will be walking us through the application. So Valerie, if I guess Diana, if you can stop sharing, and then Valerie can take over the screen.
Thank you, Carmen. Let me pull that screen here. Okay, can you confirm that it's sharing?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. So I did want to share with you all the main page. This is when you do log in, but just very quickly, when you go to our website, choose.dallasisd.org/login, you will be taken to this page here. If you already have a parent account, simply enter your phone number or your email that's associated with that account, your password, and click login. If you do not have a parent account, you will enter the information here on the right-hand side. If the device you're using, if it's signed in through Google and it's the same account, the same email that you have with your Schoolman account, click on the login with Google, and that will take you directly to the parent dashboard, which I'm showing here. Now, one main thing that I do want to point out for applications, because we're only open for the 25-26 school year, we do want to make sure that you're selecting the correct school year here at the top right corner. Now, another thing that we do want to mention, if you already have students in Dallas ISD, the chances are is that you do have a student in your parent account. To verify this, simply scroll all the way down to the bottom. As an example here, I have a few test student examples. You will see the students' names here in each individual blue tile. And below them, there's going to be a tab. So for this particular student, we have the test application. Now, there's going to be a button that says Start Application. Because I did want to save a little bit of time, I did somewhat start it. You'll provide us the student information and the parent guardian information as shown here on the left-hand side. The fourth page is going to be the school selection page. So this will indicate to you at the very top, it's going to know the address that you entered, and it's going to tell you what's your zone school. So one question that I have received, and I do want to cover it. If you're interested in maintaining or staying at your neighborhood school, but you want to enter into the dual language program, you still need to apply into that program. So that will indicate to you what's your zone school, and then you'll scroll down and select your school options. If the campus that you're looking for offers a two-way dual language program, you will select the box, letting the system know that you want to apply to that school. Remember that you can choose up to 5 schools. The only exception is magnet. You are limited to 2 magnet schools. Once you've done your selection, the next important piece that I did want to share is the ranking page. And this page is very important to know what is your most desired school, the school that you really, really want to go to. We do want to make sure that you select it as your number one, as it is very important on how you rank the schools. It will determine the one offer that your student may receive. When you select the schools, it might not give them to you in the order that you selected. So please make sure that you review this page. If you want to make adjustments, simply click on the hamburgers sign here and just kind of toggle back and forth, and it will update those changes for you. And then you'll go into the next pages. Depending on what program you selected, you may get more pages to fill out. If it's just one program, it's most likely just going to allow you to fill in the answers to the next questions. So for a sibling, if you have a sibling who is attending that campus, you can select yes, type in the sibling's name and the school that they're attending. For this purpose, I'll just select no, just to kind of save some time. If your student receives special education services, we do recommend that you upload the IEP of the student or the Section 504 so that that can be reviewed. And again, just to kind of make sure that we're going through the process seamlessly, I'm going to select no. As a quick reminder, depending on what program you applied, you'll be needing to fill out more pages. So if it's for magnet, you'll need to fill out those documents, which each program is going to go over more details on that. Lastly, I did want to share the dashboard page again. Once you submit the application, if you've already sent it over and you go back to the dashboard page, you're going to see the students that you're selecting up here and the schools that you applied to. If you ever needed to make changes after you submitted the application, you can do so again by toggling back and forth on the main dashboard page, and it will change that confirmation for you. If a campus notified you that there's a missing document, click on the Edit Selected School button, or you can select either one of the edit buttons next to the school. That will take you back to the application. And as you can see, since I have already submitted this application, the only options I have is to select the document upload page. So you can go to that particular program, delete the document that you need to change, and then upload a new one. Make sure that you click continue, and it takes you back to the confirmation page. But that's pretty much what I wanted to share for the process of the application.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And again, if you have, and now if Diana can put the back up, but we'll, again, this number, if you have any questions about the application or you're running into any difficulties, this is the number to call, 972-925-5560. Again, just a reminder, I don't know if we have another slide coming up that has it again or not, but I mean, we do later in the presentation, but it's we have the phone bank today from 11 to 1, and during the week, Monday through Friday, 972-925-5560, or in person at one of the One Center locations. And next, we have our Dallas ISD pre-K program, which is a fantastic program. And we have our experts from pre-K who are going to tell us why it is such a fantastic program.
Good morning. So pre-K begins at the age 3, which is a pivotal stage in children's development. During the first 5 years of life, 90% of the brain growth occurs. So Dallas ISD recognizes the importance of early education. Therefore, it offers pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 programs. So between the ages of 3 and 4, children's cognitive abilities are rapidly developing, setting the foundation for their future success in school and in life. We provide high quality instruction in all of our pre-K programs, and research does show that children who attend pre-K tend to perform better academically compared to those without any pre-K experience. Next slide, please. Registration is still opened for the current academic school year for the 2024 to 2025 at the legacy schools, also known as your neighborhood schools. Some campuses still have available seats, and to be eligible, your child must be been 3 or 4 years old by September 1st of 2024. But looking ahead for the next academic school year, the 25-26, pre-K registration for legacy schools will begin on April 1st of 2025. For the pre-K 3 programs, children must be 3 by September 1st of 2025. And for our pre-K 4 programs, children must be 4 by that date as well. Next slide. Displayed on the screen are our specialty schools. Each offer unique opportunities for early childhood education. If you look on the far left, our transformation schools provide full day pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 programs. Admission is lottery based and tuition options are available. These schools offer a range of programs, including Montessori, personalized learning, and the biomedical preparatory. On the top right, we have additional transformation schools that only offer pre K 4 programs. Admission is also lottery based with tuition available. And on the bottom right, we have our magnet schools that offer pre-K 4 full day pre-K 4 programs which have special academic requirements for admissions. We have two new magnet schools which are our Trinity Heights and Mark Twain. If you do need more information about our application and registration process, you can scan the QR code that is displayed on this screen. Okay, next slide. If you have any questions about applications for pre-K at transformation or magnet schools, such as the application process, the lottery system, academic requirements, or offers, you can contact the centralized enrollment hotline and their phone number is displayed. But if you have any questions about pre-K registration, eligibility, please reach out to the pre-K enrollment hotline, which is displayed on the far right. Thank you.
And just so you know, that hotline will also be available today, right? During the phone bank hours. So you can call that number today. Either the centralized enrollment hotline, and if you have a pre-K question, they'll send you there, or you can call that number if you have pre-K questions. But we can answer the questions here if you have pre-K questions. So I see there's already some questions in the Q&A about how you can transfer to schools that may not be choice schools, that may be like regular schools within the district that are not schools within your zone. And we have Jorge Flores, who is now going to talk to us about student transfers and how that process works, because it is part of the application process that we have now through January 31st. Jorge? Well, we had Jorge earlier.
Jorge, you're muted.
I think he's having he may be having some technical difficulties.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jorge Flores. I'm part of the centralized enrollment team and student transfer coordinator. As you heard from Ms. Byler regarding pre-K programs and regarding our neighborhood schools, which are now also called our legacy schools. So our neighborhood schools, our legacy schools are great neighborhood schools. They're rich in history. They have great academic programs, and they have a very involved community. And every student who lives within our boundaries of Dallas ISD from grades K to 12 has an automatic seat at their legacy school. But if you want to go ahead and attend a different legacy school, then that is where student transfers comes into play. You can apply to attend a different school, and it could be for any reason, but one of the most common reasons is, let's just say you live in one area of Dallas ISD, but maybe work across town. If that is the case, then you may want to have your child closer to where you work so you can drop them off and pick them up. And that's a very common reason why transfers are requested. But any reason to go ahead and attend a different legacy school is fine. So you can use this application system to apply to a different school. And now transfers are going to be based on available space at the school. And they do look also at grades, attendance, and discipline records for students who are older, obviously. Students may remain, once they get a transfer permission, they can remain at that same school, at the legacy school, up to the highest grade level available at that school. One thing to keep in mind is a little things different than our other programs like magnets and transformations is there is no transportation provided. if you choose to attend a different school other than your legacy school. But that's student transfers. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mari Carmen.
You're very welcome, Jorge. And sorry for those technical difficulties. It happens. Next, we have our magnet schools, and those are also very popular options. And before we start with that, Jorge, did you specify that with transfers there is no transportation? Because I think
Yes,
yes.
right,
Okay.
right at the very end.
All right, so yes, we just want to really stress that because I think people get confused because with all the other schools, we do offer, all these other specialty schools do offer transportation. I know there's a question in the Q&A right now about, a school being, like a magnet school being too far, but they do offer transportation, so that's not an issue. But for transfers, transportation is not an option. But now here to tell us all about the magnet programs, I'm not sure who from Magnets is here. Is it Nancy?
Can you hear me?
It's not. It's my yes. Hello.
It's
Yes,
me,
we
Mayra.
can.
Good morning, Mari Carmen. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mayra Andrade. I am a coordinator with Centralized Enrollment and Magnet Programs. So yes, as Mari Carmen said, Magnet Programs, if you do receive a seat, there is transportation offered. Now, within our magnet programs, they do provide students with access to college preparatory courses, and they have very specialized curriculum which do explore today's career options. Now, some of those program offerings are in the Montessori program. There are tag schools, STEM, multiple careers, and performing and visual arts. Now, within the magnet application, in order to successfully have a complete magnet application, you must submit specific documents. Proof of address is one. You must submit a utility bill with your current address. This can be, again, a utility bill, water, gas, light bill, or a lease or mortgage statement, along with your child's most recent report card. If you are applying at this time, then the semester report card will suffice. And then your child's most recent test scores. You can ask your current campus counselor for a testing report, and they'll be able to provide you with any recent tests that your child may have taken. Most importantly, the scores that we are looking for are STAR scores from last spring, MAP, or iReady scores. Now, if your child does not currently attend Dallas ISD, maybe a private school out of district, you are absolutely more than welcome to apply. But we do realize that some of these schools maybe don't offer or don't provide STAR, MAP, or iReady testing. We do have a list of approved tests that you may have, and you can upload those in this case. Now, if you absolutely don't have any of these 3 tests or anything that's on that approved test list, you can just go ahead and submit a copy of your report card twice. And then once the magnet school of choice that you have applied to processes your application, they will reach out to you to schedule your child for what we call out-of-district testing. Okay, and the process can continue that way. Next slide. Now, one of the most important things, differences with magnet programs or our magnet schools and any of the other choice programs that the district offers is that magnet schools do have eligibility requirements. Again, is why we ask for a report card and those test scores. Now, if you are applying for a tag program, they do require an 80 grade point average and a 70th percentile test score eligibility. For all of our other programs, such as Montessori, arts, and our other STEM programs, they must meet a 75 grade average in their report card and a 40th percentile score in both reading and math. Now, applicants that do meet the minimum grade average and that test score requirement are eligible to move forward to the campus assessment, and that will be scheduled by the campus. So once they are deemed eligible, you will receive notification from the applying school letting you know of that date and time. Next slide. Now, also with the magnet selection process, once the student has been deemed eligible, they've gone through the assessment, all of those students that receive a specific score, total score on their assessment, will be placed in what we call the magnet lottery or the magnet calculation. And so what that means is that the seats are awarded 30% of the seats are awarded based on rank ordering the applicants on their overall assessment score. And this is all for in-district applicants. The remaining 70% of the seats for that campus will be awarded between the comprehensive feeder patterns, again, rank ordering based on their overall assessment score. Now, do keep in mind that some of our campuses do have sibling rules or sibling preferences, as you know, we like to keep families together. And so if you are applying to one of our Montessori programs, such as Dealey and Harry Stone, they do have a sibling rule, which if you have a current child attending one of these schools and you have another child applying for next school year, they do get that sibling priority. For all of our other elementary and middle schools, they do have a sibling preference, which means that 5 points will be added to their total assessment score. Keep in mind, like I said earlier, that all qualified in-district applicants will be placed before any out-of-district applicants get a seat. And so anyone and everyone can apply, no matter where you live, but keep in mind that qualified in-district students do have priority. Next slide. And so here is a long list of our magnet schools, which you can apply to. They do range in grades from pre-K 3 all the way to 12th grade. So some of our elementary middle magnet schools offer grades in starting in pre-K and go up to 8th grade. We do have some middle high school campuses that start at 6th grade and go all the way to 12th grade. Again, varying in the program offerings depending on what your child is interested in, there may be a magnet school for you. So if you do have any questions, you can always log on to our website, dallasisd.org/magnet, or you can contact our magnet department, speak to me, Mayra Andrade, Nancy Rubio, or Shatera Walter. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for this information. And there is a lot of information. So I do have, before we move on to the next program, I do, pre-K has a clarification. So Janet, if you want to jump in and clarify some of the information.
Yes, thank you. I do want to clarify that one of our magnet campuses, Mark Twain, will be offering pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 full day.
Okay, great. So I think that wasn't maybe on the, correct on the slide. So, but you know, you can also go to the websites for all of these programs. If you go to our website, www.dallasisd.org, all of this information is correct there and up to date. If you go to www.dallasisd.org/discover, you also have information and about all of these programs and links to the pages for all of these programs there. So we try to make it easy for you. There's also a link to the application on that page, so that you can find everything on the one site. So it's easy for you to find everything. So now moving on, reminder about, oh, and look, there is that page, www.dallasisd.org/discover. And also reminder about the phone bank that will be starting here in about half an hour. It's 972-925-5560. And it's also the number that is available to you for help Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5 p.m. if you need any help as the deadline for the application approaches. That is January 31st. So please make sure that you get the help you need by calling either today from 11 to 1 or during the week, and please do be patient, because as the deadline approaches for the application, they do get pretty busy, so they may not be able to answer right away. So have a bit of patience with them if they don't answer immediately. Next, we have our Office of Transformation and Innovation. These are also great programs to keep in mind as you are applying, because, as you know, you can only apply to 2 magnet programs, but you can apply to 5 programs in general. And so you might want to look at the 2 magnet programs, and then 3 of the are in transformation and innovation programs, and your kids will have lots of opportunities to find the best fit programs for them. And I'm not entirely sure who we have for the Office of Transformation and Innovation, so whoever it is, jump in.
Thank you, Maria Carmen.
Oh, that's right, Valerie.
So yes, we're going to be going over a little bit of our transformation schools. Now, these are schools that are designed around innovative models. So we do offer academic programs that are similar to Magnet, such as STEM, STEAM, personalized learning, and Montessori. Our transformation schools do not have attendance boundaries, and any student can apply to attend. There are no academic entry requirements. So that would be the difference between a Magnet program and transformation, is that there won't be any academic entry requirements. Students are selected for enrollment through a randomized lottery, and the seats are awarded based on a 50-50 socioeconomic lottery for most of our schools. And do keep in mind that transportation is provided for students living within our district boundaries. So did want to touch on that. Here in the page, we have a few of our um, schools that offer grades from pre-K 3 to middle school. We have Prestonwood Montessori, Buckner Terrace Montessori, Onesimo Hernandez Montessori. We have single gender campuses such as Solar Girls and Solar Boys, which they offer as well a STEAM program. Biomedical is also within the STEAM program, and this offers that focus on biomedical sciences, and it is partnered with UT Southwestern. So those are just a few of the schools that we have. If you go on to the next slide, I believe there's also more campuses, if I'm not mistaken. Perfect. So this one's focused on campuses that offer secondary grades, middle school, and also high school. So again, some of our campuses offer these specific programs. The single gender for middle school, there's Young Women's STEAM Academy. A standalone middle school, these are schools that only have 6th grade through 8th grade. I know a lot of our majority middle schools also kind of combine with the elementary grade. So you would be looking at Downtown Montessori, Mata Montessori, just to mention a few. But our standalones would be Ignite Middle School and Holsey STEAM, if you are interested in a standalone middle school. For our high school options, there's City Lamb High School, IDEA, New Tech, and Young Women's, of course, is starting from 9th grade. And we also have Dr. Frederick Haynes, which is a combined middle school and high school. So students would be going up each grade level. This is going to be our year where it's transitioning into 11th grade. So it's 6th through 11th. And then for the next school year, they will be offering 12th grade for the 26-27 school year. But yeah, those are a few of our programs. If you do have any question or had any or wanted more details as far as how the lottery works, please feel free to give us a call. Just as a reminder, our lottery is based off of priorities. So a student living in district is going to have a higher priority versus a student living out of district. You can still apply It would really just kind of go down to availability in seats and seeing if that seat is offered. But yeah, we can touch more on the specifics if you do have more questions. I think that was all. I don't mind if you can go down to the next slide just to make sure. Okay, so for documents, you are going to be required to upload a proof of address. That would be a utility bill, a lease contract, or a mortgage statement. The campus that receives the application, they'll take a look at that to make sure that they're processing the applications correctly. For proof of income, like I mentioned before, our schools have a 50-50 socioeconomic diversity. So it is a question that it's asked if you receive SNAP or TANF. If you don't have SNAP or TANF, it will then let you select the range of your income. And you can select that you prefer not to provide it. That's definitely fine. But do know that by doing so, the student will automatically be placed on the non-economically disadvantage uh, section for the application, just to make sure that we're following policies. But if you choose to not provide proof of income, simply upload the proof of address twice on both sections, and then the campus will reach out to you if they do need a little bit more information regarding documents. I know that sometimes we do receive documents for proof of income where you might, be working for Uber Eats or Lyft, and we do need a W-2 or pay stub or paycheck. But if you don't have these documents, we can definitely try to work and see what documents you can provide so we can make sure that we're processing the application correctly as well. But yeah, thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it. And again, if you have any questions, we'll definitely call our phone bank today. Next, we have Mr. Omar Kelly, who will tell us about our PTech programs, which are great programs. Our district is a leader in this type of programs, and they have shown fantastic success for our students. And it's one of these programs I'm so proud to be part of a district that offers them, because it does great things for our students and our families. So I am I'm a great cheerleader for them. So I'm glad that you get to hear about them here.
All right, can everybody hear me? Okay, so welcome. Thank you, Ms. Mary Carmen, for that excellent introduction. My name is Omar Kelly. You all also will be hearing from Dallas ISD, my counterpart, and I'm just here to tell you about the PTech and early college program. Now, I'm here to tell you about the best thing since the internet, and the reason why I say that is because it's new, it's innovative, and it's completely free to all. There are no educational requirements. There are no proof of residencies. There is nothing you have to submit other than your information. We are open to all. This program is designed for parents who know, I want my child to go to college. If you want your child to go to college and you know that there are several students in the house, several kids in the house, and you're trying to figure out, how do I pay for my oldest, my second, my third, this is the program for you. It's completely free, and we're looking for 8th graders going into 9th grade. So calling all middle school 8th graders, we need you to fill out an application. If you're already in high school, you can still apply, but we cannot promise you the associate's degree that is linked to the program after you finish. We really are looking for incoming 9th graders, so people who are 8th grade going into 9th grade. We're looking there, because there we start you. We start you your beginning of 8th grade year, going into your 9th grade year, and then we have everything. So let me tell you quickly about the program. So we have the PTech Early College Program, a program designed for your students to get their associate's degree while in high school, meaning we pay for tuition, we pay for books, we pay for transportation, we pay for it all. Do you have to have a certain GPA? No. What else is good about our PTech programs? We have PTech programs, we have early college programs. The only difference is the PTech program has internships. So if you're looking for work-related fields, if you know you want to go into nursing, if you know you want to go into education, we have internships that they can pay internships that these students can be involved in that will allow them to also do the internship and take the college hours. You're either getting Associates of Arts or Associates of Science. And for our early college programs, it's similar, the same thing, Associates of Arts, Associates of Science. We just don't really have the interns, but if you want to do an intern, trust me, there are options. Next slide. And this right here is just some of the things that you walk away with, up to 60 credit hours. Parents, let me just say this. There are a lot of programs that your children can go to, but this program, you're leaving with something, meaning you're leaving high school with college hours. I'm not saying you're leaving with certifications, you're leaving with college hours, things that are going to be beneficial to you when you start school. So usually when our students leave our program, they're leaving with 60 hours, sometimes more. What that means is when you start college, you are now a junior. You just took 2 years off of the parents' plate. And if you stay within district and you stay within the program through Dallas County Promise, we'll pay for the next 2 years. So initially, you're getting a 4-year opportunity for some of your students, completely free. Once again, I don't need to see your academic statement. I don't need to see where you live. If you want to be a part of the program, you can be involved. These are a few things, but I feel like I'm doing too much talking. I'm going to let my counterpart, Danielle Taiski, take over. Go ahead, Ms. Taiski.
And
Good morning.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you guys could speak up a little bit, we're getting some comments that people are having trouble hearing. So
I got you.
All right.
Good morning and greetings, and welcome to the wonderful world of P-TECH and Early College High School programs. My name again is Danielle Taiski. I'm a program specialist with P-TECH and Early College High School programs. And like my colleague stated to you guys, this is a wonderful opportunity for our scholars, our Dallas ISD and abroad scholars, to receive associate's degrees and high school diplomas at the same time. Me and Mr. Kelly are products of the district, and I will attest to it. If they had this back in 1996, where would I be now? I want you guys to really get in depth and understand that this is an innovative program that is the biggest inception and the biggest implementation in the world of P-TECH and Early College High School programs to date. So what we have here is not only, like my counterpart said, you receive an associate's degree, but you also receive career and technology certificates. You also have 4-year university options, career opportunities that start in the junior year and go on to the senior year, mentoring, worksite visits, paid internships, as well as when you graduate, you are first in line for job interviews and jobs specifically. Next slide, please. These are some of the accolades that we have had to date for the P-TECH and Early College High School programs in the greatest ISD in the world, Dallas ISD, where we have since 2016, 100 industry partners onboarded across the DFW that meet the needs of our students based solely on the job placements that we have here. The students have earned over $2.5 million in collective total estimate student aid earnings for internships since 2020. Over 350 student-paid internships in 2023, and since 2016, we have earned over 394,000 college credit hours at no cost to the students and their families. And I want to leave you guys with this. At the end of the day, as our students, as our minority students, our low SES students here in Dallas ISD, when they turn 17, they will receive an associate's degree through the P-TECH and Early College High School programs. By 19, they can receive their bachelor's degree. By 21, they can have their master's, and by 24, someone can call them doctors. And that is 0.01 of the percentage of minorities who have PhDs and or better. So this is a great opportunity. I want to thank Mayor Carmen and her team for allowing us to be here to shed a little light on P-TECH sunshine. And thank you so much and have a blessed day.
Well, thank you. Thank you for participating because, again, P-TECH is such a great program. So we appreciate you being here. And another good program that we have are the Career Institutes. They're not necessarily an application program, but we do want you guys to be aware of these programs, because it may be that you want to take advantage of our transfers to make sure that you're in the high school that has the specific programs that are offered at the Career Institutes. And we have, gosh, I've forgotten your name, but please jump in to tell us about the Career Institutes. We have 4 of them, and they're a somewhat new program in the district, but we have had great success with it as well. So
Good morning, everyone. My name is Urini Paten. I'm with Career Institutes. We have 3 live institutes that are at the north. That's around Midway Road, and you can see on the map there in blue, those are the high schools that would feed into the Career Institute North. In green, you will see Career Institute South, and you will see that the schools there in that feeder pattern will feed into Career Institute South. In red, you will see Career Institute East, and those are the high schools that feed into Career Institute East. In orange is number 4. We are in the process of building Career Institute West, and you will see those schools in orange. They will feed into Career Institute West. We at the Career Institutes have a wonderful program. What we do is provide different programs of study. If you can go to the next slide, we can show you the programs of study for career and technical education that we offer. So we have architecture and construction, and one listed there. I mean, that's not listed there is masonry. We will be adding on masonry next year. So we have construction, electrical, HVAC. Oh, I do see masonry there. I'm sorry. Plumbing, interior design, and architecture. We do have health sciences. So we have patient care technicians, pharmacy tech, phlebotomy, EMT, and dental assistant programs. We also have transportation, distribution, and logistics with aviation and automotive. In information technology, we offer cybersecurity, game design, and software development. And then we have robotics, mechatronics for manufacturing. All of these programs are really geared towards students earning industry-based certifications. We partner with companies that are in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex to provide some real-world work experiences for our students. It is a really good program. It has been a game changer in our students' lives, and we would welcome you to have your students to come. Next slide. And I'm going to pass this on to Sonara. She's over at Career Institute South.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Soniris Rosas, Industry Partner Coordinator at Career Institute South. And I do want to mention that we are under the same umbrella of workforce development and employer relations. So we are in the same family of the CTE and PTech programs, but we're a different department. What makes us different is that there is no application process. So if your student is attending any of the schools that my colleague Urani mentioned that are on the map, any of the high schools, your son or daughter can take advantage of these programs. So for instance, if you have a student interested in construction, then they can select the HVAC program, and then they would be taking the courses that are described. They will take a pathway course every year. For instance, in the 9th grade, they may be taking principles of construction. Then in the 10th grade, HVAC Tech 1, in the 11th grade, HVAC Tech 2, and then in their senior year, a practicum. During their practicum year, we take them offsite for them to have work-based learning experiences that will be leading to a job. And then at the same time, simultaneously, they are working every year on certifications, industry-based certifications. If it is, for instance, a student that is interested in pursuing a career in health science, then we have partnerships with different hospitals in the area, like Baylor Scott and White Vascular Hospital, and then our students are doing clinical rotations. So then maybe their practicum might look like during that practicum year, they're doing rotations there. So all the students are taking pathway courses, and then they also take elective with us. What that looks like is that every other day they come to the Career Institute, whether it is the Career Institute South or the Career Institute East or the North, and in the future, the West. And then they're working to learn the skills that will help them in their pathway or program of study of choice, as well as earn those industry-based certifications. These help the home campus to have more students certified, as well as it helps your student to build a resume that will help them land a job or an internship. So under healthcare, we have as my colleague mentioned, Irene, the phlebotomy, EKG, PCT. So there are different certifications depending on the pathway that the students decide. And there are hundreds, and these are listed on the TEA website. Is there a next slide? As I mentioned earlier, there's no application. So basically, if your student is interested, they will enroll with their counselor. So if you're out of the district and you're bringing a student to Sunset, I saw some of those questions in the chat, you will ask your counselor that you are interested in being part of the Career Institute program. We're gonna be at the STEM Expo, so we encourage you to visit our booths and learn more of our programs, and also see our students in action that are competing in the drone competition. Thank you.
Great. And yes, so if you're interested in a program that is offered in a certain area, this may be a time for you to take advantage of the transfer options. So like if your homeschool is I don't know, Brian Adams, but you're interested in incorrect, like I may not have the distribution correctly here, but if you're attending Brian Adams because that's your homeschool, but you're interested in a program that's offered in a career institute that's tied to Sunset, you might want to look at maybe at transferring to Sunset, so you can go to that program that's in offered in the Career Institute that's tied to Sunset. So that's one of the things that you need to, while an application is not necessary for the Career Institutes, that is something you want to look at also to see what programs you're interested in. And because we do offer a lot of things that are, to help your students be successful, not just in high school, but beyond. And why not take advantage of all these great programs that we offer? And the phone bank is working, will start working right at 11 in about 10 minutes. And if you have any questions, I know there's a lot of questions that are very specific in the Q&A that we may not be able to answer because they are very specific. And when we answer, everybody can see them. So we just don't want to really share your business with everyone. So we encourage you to instead call the phone bank and get your answers there. And that number is 972-925-5560. And also, if you have any questions, and because I've seen a lot of questions in the Q&A where parents might not know exactly what program they want for their kids. Like it's kind of hard to we can only present what programs we have. It's very difficult to tell you, well, this is what might be best for your kids. So maybe call and they can guide you through what some of the better options might be. Next, we have another program that we are kind of leaders in for the district. It's our two-way dual language program that is offered in elementary and secondary. And for that, we have
Marisol.
yes. Hi, Marisol. Please tell us about this great program.
Yes, thank you, Mari Carmen. Good morning, buenos dias. And I have the honor to talk to you about the two-way and secondary dual language program. Our programs offers the opportunity to your kid to speak, write, read, listen, and think in two languages, in this case, English and Spanish. Our goal is that our students become bilingual and biliterate. Another of the advantages is that they strengthen thinking and problem-solving skills because they are constantly learning in two languages and increases global awareness and cultural diversity. We live in a global society that is really important for our students. And as Mari Carmen mentioned, we have the two-way dual language program in elementary and secondary schools. In elementary, the elementary model that we have in pre-K and kindergarten a model that is called the 90-10. 90% of the instruction is in Spanish and 10% of the instruction is in English. Because we want that students are strong in Spanish, then are going to start transfer to English. And as I mentioned, our goal is they become biliterate and bilingual when they finish elementary schools. And first grade, our model is an 80% of the instruction is in Spanish and 20% in English. As you see, we're increasing the percentage of instruction in English. And then for second to fifth grade or sixth grade, on those schools that are elementary and have sixth grade, the instruction is 50% of the instruction in Spanish, 50% of the instruction is in English. And there is a wonderful program that we want that you take in consideration. And now I'm going to pass the microphone to my colleague, Belinda Moran, who will talk you about the secondary dual language program. Thank you.
Thank you, Marisol. Good morning, everybody. So the secondary dual language program is for our dual language students. They're going to continue their bilingualism, biliteracy journey through either 8th grade or 12th grade. So this is a middle school and high school program. Again, the students must have a dual language bilingual background to apply and to be accepted. They take 2 courses. Out of all the courses they take in their schedule, 2 courses will be completely in Spanish. The remainder of the courses will be in English. The courses vary by campus depending on the strand that they've developed for that specific campus. Some campuses will focus on their Spanish courses being science, while others social studies. So it's really important to, ask when you're looking and applying which pathway appeals to your student. For the middle schools that have that secondary dual language program, we have Hotchkiss, Jail Long, Ann Richards Steam, Rosemont Upper, Alex Sanger, School for the Talented and Gifted in Pleasant Grove, Edie Walker, and Walnut Hill International Leadership Academy. And then we have 4 high schools. We have North Dallas High School, Sunset High School, W.T. White, and Woodrow Wilson. And we do hope that our students that are coming from a dual language background, that they continue to grow and develop that bilingualism and biliteracy through applying to our programs. If you all need anything, this is our number for the dual language ESL department. It's 972-925-6490. Again, that's 972-925-6490. You can also email us at bilingualesl@dallasisd.org. And you can find our website at tinycc.cc/Dallas ISD DL. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to receiving a lot of applications.
Great. And now there's a lot of special education questions in the Q&A. So our experts in special education are here to talk a little bit about how special education works with some of these programs.
Good morning. Thank you, Mari Carmen. My name is Sherry Thrasher Campbell, and I'm with Dallas ISD Special Services Department. And so looking at the screen, we currently serve over 17,000 students in our special education program in Dallas ISD. Next slide, please. In Dallas ISD, we do have a continuum of services. So we start with our least restrictive environment, which is our external support, going all the way to our most restrictive environment, which is our specialized support. And depending on your student's individualized education program or their IEP, would determine if they are eligible for specific campuses. Next slide. So again, Dallas ISD does offer a continuum of services. Inclusion is offered at every campus. However, specialized programs are not at every campus, so you would need to contact that specific campus to see if they have availability. When you're doing applications, as Ms. Barone said earlier, if you upload that student's IEP, we will review it to determine if the child is eligible for a specific campus. And you can always contact us and we'll answer any questions. Thank you.
Great. So now it's time for some of the questions we have been answering, and please be patient. We have a lot of, you guys have been great with the questions. We've received a ton of questions from you, and we are working our way through those. We've answered quite a few, and we still have quite a few to go. So panelists, if you can like really get to the questions, that would be great. If we've been answering them, but not really concentrate on those. There's a few in Spanish, there's a lot in English, and I've been getting some of them so we can answer them live, because this will be, and one of the questions that we've gotten also is that, will this presentation be available? Yes, this presentation will be available in video form at www.dallasisd/discover, which is the same page where you register to participate. And sometime next week, we need to clean it up. It will be available in English, and then there will be a video that's available in Spanish for those of you who were asking about it in Spanish. Some of the questions that we've received have to do with pre-K. And they're, so I'm just going to ask in the pre-K, like if it's your program, please feel free to jump in. My daughter is 5 in October 2025. Would she be in pre-K 4th, or would she be placed in kindergarten? How does that age thing work? I think that's Janet. Are you around? Can you answer that question?
Yes, she will be in pre-K 4 following the TEI guideline that they need to be 3 or 4 by September 1st.
Okay, and stay right there because I have another one. So in the magnet programs for pre-K 3 and 4, they're all full day, right?
Correct. All the programs are full day for both pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 magnets.
Okay. Do we still have like half day programs around for pre-K?
In some of our campuses, but not in the magnets.
Okay, great. Excellent. Thank you. So we may have you back. I didn't put the questions by topics, so we may come back to you. Okay. So for transportation, and we don't have a transportation person here, but how does transportation work if my child is not in the zoned school? If it's, again, just to go over it, if it's a transfer, transportation is not offered. So if you're transferring to a school that is not your zoned school, then you have to provide transportation for your student. If you are applying to one of our specialty programs or schools and you're accepted, then we provide transportation for your student. And that works in a different way. We have routes, and those routes are determined before the year starts, and they let you know where those pickups are and at what time those pickups are. We don't know right now where those, like, there, we might have an idea, but generally those are determined before the school year begins. So we do have our transportation page, and you can look at that and maybe get an idea of how that works. But that's kind of it. If it's a regular, like a legacy school, our neighborhood school, we don't provide transportation. So there's a question about a child that they would like to potentially hold back a year to be able to enter a certain campus. She would be entering Dallas ISD from a non-ISD private school. And is this an option for a parent to hold them back a year so they can enter a magnet or a transformation school? So for example, I guess if the child is now in, I don't know, kindergarten, like, I don't know how that would work, but experts, can you tell us about that? Maida, for magnet school, how would that work?
So the application would have to be in the grade that they're currently in. Per policy, one cannot apply to a grade below just for the specific purpose of entering a specific program. So we would verify, the program that they're in and what grade at that school that they're currently in. That's how the application would be submitted.
Okay, so yes, so not, probably you don't want to hold back your kid. So for, like, and just there are a lot of questions about how to choose the best school, and one of the things that magnet schools have is that they're very specialized and also transformation schools, they're kind of specialized with their focus. So how do you work with parents to see what is which interest best fits the student? Do you guys do that, or do parents need to work with their school? How does that work?
Yes, it's best always to, of course, talk to your child. A lot of the times from an early age, they will show interest in a specific career, in a specific art form. If you see that they're very good in reading and math and in having those advanced classes. And so that will tell you a little bit about what type of program that they may be interested in. And so a lot of our magnet programs, or all of the programs, do have open house dates. So you can always contact the school and see if your child can go in, maybe talk to a couple of teachers to see and get a feel of what that school and program offers, and go from there.
And then once they know that, then they can talk to one of the programs and see which school best meets those needs.
Absolutely.
Because we're all about the best fit schools for your children.
Exactly, yes.
Great. And so tell me about the address stuff, because there's a couple questions. I don't know if you or maybe Valerie can answer that question. People who live in an address, but maybe they're not, like, they're like living with a relative, so like they don't have a lease or the utilities are not in their name. What can they do to present a proof of address?
Yes, so if you do live with a family, a friend, you will need to provide a proof of address that, again, has to be a water, light, or gas bill, maybe a lease agreement or a mortgage statement that's under that person's name, the person that you live with, along with a letter from that person stating that you and your family live there. It must contain the address, the name of the person, their contact information, and then of course your and your child's name. And so those two pieces of documents will suffice for proof of address.
Okay. And how about for people who don't yet live in the district? Like they're coming in, they're moving in from out of town, often out of state. We've had questions about people who are coming in from out of the country who are moving back to, but they don't yet have an address. They know they're going to live within our attendance zone, but they don't know exactly where. They don't have an exact address because they're still looking. But they want to apply for next year. What can they do?
Yes, so again, anyone can apply, no matter where you live. And so at the time of your application, you will use your current living address. So even if you're coming from Austin, you may be coming from another state, you will use your current address. And that's how the application will be processed. Now, we do have frequent questions on, well, I'll be moving in the summer. I know that I'll be moving in the summer. I don't know the exact location just yet, but I know that I will be in Dallas ISD. Well, because the applications and the application process does close in January, we must go with what your current living address or your current living situation is at the time of application.
Okay. And this is actually a specific magnet question. Do sibling preferences apply to high school also?
They do not. It's only for, again, for Dealey, George B. Dealey and Harry Stone Montessori that have the sibling priority. And then our magnet elementary and middle schools receive 5 points for any siblings that are currently attending that school.
Okay. And there's a lot of magnet questions, so hang in there. So if this person had applied for a magnet school, but then they realize the magnet school is a little bit far and they want to change it to one that is closer, how can they make that change? But I guess they don't really need to, right? Because we offer transportation. But let's say they want to, and they want to make that change. How do they do that in the application?
That is correct, Mari Carmen. So there is the option of transportation. So if the current transportation maybe doesn't meet your needs at this time, we do recommend contacting the transportation department and see if there is, anything else that we can do on that end. But if you absolutely just, it's too far, you really want to do the change, then in order to gain entry into another magnet school, you must go through the process once again with that particular school. So your time to apply will be now for the next school year.
Okay. And I don't know that this is exactly a question for, let me go for another question. Can I request testing out of district even though the student is in district for magnet school? One score the parent doesn't agree with. Is this possible?
So if I'm understanding correctly, if the student is currently within DISD, no. We look at DISD does offer 3 different tests that we can take into consideration for eligibility. So we're looking at STAR, we're looking at iReady, we're looking at MAP. And so if your child has taken any or all of those tests, we're trying to see which one would, more than likely qualify the student. And so we have to go by what we already have in the system. And we wouldn't schedule them for out of district testing.
Okay. And when we're talking about the lottery, placing students into magnet schools, so I don't think this applies to you. I think this is an OTI thing, but I've heard this parent says, I've heard it's not just based on the child's abilities, but also demographics and family income. That does not apply to magnet, right?
Not the income part. So again, with the magnet programs, I'll talk a little bit about the magnet process, and then Valerie can jump in for the income piece for transformation schools. But for magnet, so step one is for the student to qualify for that particular magnet school that you're choosing. If they are eligible, meaning they meet that GPA and that test score, then they move on to the campus assessment. Now that campus assessment can be an NNAT, it could be a math test, it could be an interview. It depends on the school that you're applying to. Once the child takes that assessment or goes through that interview, excuse me, then they will receive points for that particular assessment. If they do receive a 70 or more, then they would be put into that magnet calculation or magnet lottery. And that's how the selection process works. All in-district students for that magnet lottery or magnet calculation will be placed first before any out-of-district student.
Okay, great. And Valerie, can you then talk about the OTI, the lottery again, and how does the family income work with that?
Yes, of course. So again, not all of our transformation schools have the 50-50 socioeconomic. Right off the bat, the ones that do not is Young Women's, Martin Luther King, and I know I'm missing another one, so I do apologize for that. But for those that do fall into the 50-50 socioeconomic diversity, the lottery works, and I'll put a simple example. If pre-K 3, it's the first grade, right? So there's no students rolling over from last year. If it's pre-K 3, and let's put a simple example, this is not a direct number, but let's assume that there's 10 seats available for that specific grade. Because it's a 50-50 socioeconomic school and it's 50-50, we would offer 5 seats on our non-economically disadvantaged lottery bucket and 5 seats in our economically disadvantaged lottery bucket. Depending on the answer and the documents provided by the parent, the campus will process the application and look at the range of income and confirm that with the document that has been uploaded and assign that applicant either non-economically disadvantaged or economically disadvantaged. When the lottery is ran, there is a part in the demographics, right? So there are some schools that have multiple priorities. To break it down and make it simple, assuming that the campus has 3 basic lottery priorities, we're going to assign sibling attending as a number 1 priority, living in district as a number 2 priority, and living out of district as an number 3 priority. So with the 5 seats that are offered within each lottery bucket, the offers are going to be done in the priority number. Keeping in mind that for our entry grade levels, pre-K 3, pre-K 4, and kinder, there is a cap for sibling attending. So we do want you to make sure that you add in the application that you do have a sibling attending. Again, the campus is going to review that and confirm that the student that you entered is indeed attending that specific campus to assign that priority 1. With the 5 seats example for each lottery bucket, the 25% would be 1 student. So only 1 sibling attending priority would get that one out of the 5 offers. The next ones will be in district and then out of district. But that is how the lottery system works for our transformation schools. Again, some schools have a simple priority list, like I just mentioned, sibling attending in district and out of district. There are more campuses within our transformation schools that are more living priorities. So biomedical would be one, downtown Montessori would be another one that does have multiple priorities. So definitely, I mean, you can reach out to that specific campus if you do have questions as to the priorities assigned within the application. But that is thoroughly reviewed with the documents provided by the parent.
Great, thank you so much. And also there's a few questions about the the ranking, and actually let's talk about that, because I think that question comes up. It's come up a lot in the past. When you fill out your application, how important is it to rank your choices? And once you rank your choices, and for example, you go and you visit the schools and an open house and you're like, okay, yeah, this is not what I want, can you still make changes? Let's talk about that.
Okay, so with the ranking choice, it is very important because, as I mentioned before, you only get one offer. So when you apply, please make sure that your number one rank is the school that you really, really want to go to. The second rank would be the next one, third, fourth, and fifth. That's if you apply to 5 schools. Obviously, you don't have to apply to 5 schools, but just putting that simple example there. Because you're only offered one seat, when the lottery runs, and assuming that you get a placement or a offer at your number 2 ranked school, that would mean that for your 3rd ranked school, that placement is declined. So you won't see what placement you got. That placement is automatically declined for your 3rd rank. Your number 1 rank, because you got an offer at your number 2, that's because you got waitlisted on your number 1 rank. Then if a seat becomes available at your number 1 ranked school, you will receive a offer. At that point, you as a parent can decide, do you want to receive the offer of your number 1 ranked school, or you, like Miss Roles mentioned, you might have visited your number 2 ranked school, you feel comfortable, you like the place, then you can stay accepted at your number 2 rank, but make sure that you decline the placement at your number rank if that is the case. And then there was another piece that you mentioned, Mari Carmen, as far as the rank. I might have missed it. Can you repeat that last one again?
Yeah, so like for example, because a lot of schools are having open houses, so parents can go visit, because when you're moving from one grade to another, like one grade level to another, like from elementary to middle school to high school, you might not be familiar with the school, so you want to go to an open house, or maybe call the schools to be able to visit, that kind of thing. So if you go and do a visit and then you're like, okay, this is really not what I wanted, can you go back and make a change in your ranking, in your or you decide, like you had applied for a magnet, but then you go visit one of the PTECs and you decide, oh my God, this is like a much better option. Can you change the ranking, and up to when can you change the ranking?
Yes, of course. So as shown in the view on how to apply, remember that there's 2 areas where you can change the rank. You can still change the rank of the school up to January 31st. After January 31st, there won't be any changes made in the application. So you won't be able to withdraw applications. You won't be able to change the rank or select more schools or delete schools. Again, that time is January 31st, when it's your last time to make any edits. So with the rank, as previously mentioned by Mari Carmen, if you've already visited a campus and you want to make those changes, you can do it through the dashboard page, or you can do it through the page 5, which is the page after the selected school option, and you can toggle those numbers up until that date. And for sure, there are some open house dates that might have already passed. They probably don't have a open house coming up. I know for sure Dallas Hybrid was one of them. Feel free to contact the school. There is a contact information in the open house dates where you can contact the school and request that you might want to have a walkthrough, or just kind of speak with the principal to kind of get a feel of that campus. But yes, the open house dates have been shared since, I believe it was early November. So we
Okay.
do want to encourage parents to go.
Yes, and some of the the snow days from the week before kind of screwed things up a little bit, and we've had to for the testing and some open houses. So we're updating the website with new information. But Omar Kelly has some comments that you want to.
Yes. Yes, I just wanted to let parents know another thing you should do. Please, please, please reach out to the schools and understand that there are schools within schools. Prime example. Let's say you're looking for information for Skyline. You may call Skyline, but Skyline has several programs. You have the collegiate program, you have the comprehensive program. So when you're calling these schools, and I'm just speaking for P-Tech and early college, if you're looking to speak to someone, ask for the P-Tech and early college AP. Because if you call the school, you'll get the front office at the school. The P-Tech and early college programs, some of them are schools within a school. So it's very important that you reach out to the school, whether that be through you want to come visit the school, you want to learn more about the school, reach out to the school. Do not just, I called and no one answered. Please reach out to the appropriate person at the school because, like I said, there are several contacts. So you may reach out to Samuel, but you reached out only to Samuel Comprehensive. You didn't reach out to Samuel Collegiate. So I just wanted to throw that out there to parents and let them know because we have available seats and open house some schools have done open house, but let's say you're applying for a program and that program doesn't have any seats. Can you still be in P-Tech? Yes, because there are several schools with open seats. So I don't want parents to get deterred because, okay, I didn't get into Samuel Collegiate, but you can still get into Skyline Collegiate. You can still get into Spruce Collegiate. You can still get into, there are other schools that have spots. So some schools may have closed spots, but trust me, there are schools with open spots. And I'm only speaking for P-Tech and early college.
And you don't want to miss out just because you didn't take that one extra step of calling the school and really looking to see where they are. And just call, and call the school, and if you don't know which school to call the P-Tech program, and those folks will guide you to where there are spots and tell you which of the schools might be the best one for your child. So that they can take advantage of this, what they offer. There was a question in the questions in the Q&A about the dual credit and if it's really worth it, because some colleges don't take the dual credit, but a lot of them do. And even if they don't, if a 4-year college doesn't take all the dual credit courses, all the dual credit hours, that they'll take most of them. And that is like a huge advantage because college is not cheap. So if you can attend for free, people for free, you don't have to pay. If you attend these programs, you're attending in high school for free. You don't have to pay for them. So that is money that your kids and you are saving to when you go to college. So I don't know if you want to expand on that, but
To piggyback on what Missy Robles just said, for Texas State schools, they have opened up opportunities for our students to transfer a lot of the dual credit coursework on over to their respective schools. They have created cohorts for the P-Tech and early college high school students because P-Tech and early college high school programs have become very provocative in the United States alone. So you have that filtering out, and now you have states as well, other states other than Texas, that have P-Tech and early college high school cohorts that are taking and matriculating those college courseworks on so the kids can start school as a second semester sophomore or first semester junior. Thank you.
And that is huge savings. So because now you're not saddled with huge college debt, and I mean it's a big deal. So yeah, so definitely take advantage of this. And Sherry Thrasher has some comments as well. We do have a lot of questions about SPED, so we are so glad you are here.
Yes, Marty Carmen, thank you. So I want to reiterate that a child's eligibility is not based on the specific disability. It's based on their IEP. And so we have to look at their individualized education plan to determine whether or not they're eligible. And because that's confidential, we really can't share that information here. So it's very important for parents to upload that IEP to the application. And then if they have specific questions, they can call the SPED department. They can call me, call the hotline, and they would get them in contact with us. But I want to make sure that parents understand it's not based on whether a child has autism or dyslexia. It's based on that child's IEP. So we have to see that current individualized education plan, whether it's out of state, out of district. We'll look at that plan and determine if the child is eligible.
Right. And there's a lot of questions from parents, not so much questions, but concerns that they seem kind of lost about what to do for their kids who have special education needs. And so we do want to, whether you're applying to any of these programs or you just want to help your kids be successful in any program, please reach out to our special education department because we're here to help you. We want every single student to be successful, whatever the circumstances. So we are here to help. So please reach out to our specialists, and we will help you find the best fit program for your child, because we do want them to be successful. And that is, and I know it's more difficult sometimes if the parents speak, are not as fluent in English, but we do have Spanish speakers. We have interpreters. That's a big part of our communications department. Special ed funds a lot of our interpreters just for this. So we are here to help. We are happy to help because we want your children to be successful. So definitely take advantage of that. Don't just, despair alone at home. We want to help you. So thank you for being here, Sherry. I think it just adds a lot of information that parents want and need.
Right. And we just want parents to know that, again, we do offer a continuum of services. So inclusion is offered at all of our DISD campuses. However, some specialized programs are not. And parents just need to, again, reach out, let us look at that IEP, and we can let them know which campuses are the best fits for their students.
Great. And Valerie,
Thank you.
Thank you. Valerie, you had something to share?
Yes, I did see a couple of these questions come up, so I did want to answer them. Some questions are as far as if the student is returning to the same school, if they need to apply or they have been told to register. Just to remind you, if your student is going to remain at the same school and they have the grade that they're going into, there is no need to apply. All that is needed is a registration. And as a reminder, registration opens on April 1st for the following school year. So just wanted to share that information there.
Great. We do have a lot of questions. My God, you guys came with the questions. We've answered like almost 150 questions. So we're like, we have been answering a lot of them. I think, a lot of we try to answer the questions as generally as possible, hoping that they apply to so we may not answer you one specific question, but we're trying to answer them in a way that they apply to as many of the questions as you have. So for example, the information that Sherry shared about the IEP, that applies to, for example, a question about magnet and tag schools that have a high number of SPED and 504 kids. We can't really answer that specifically because it depends on the child's IEP. We don't have that information, so we can't really answer that question specifically. So I don't know that. So there may be some questions out there. Please don't feel like we don't want to answer your questions. We can't answer your question because we don't have that information. So we're trying to answer as many of the general questions as we can. If it's very specific and you gave us information about your child, we also cannot answer that question because for the sake of privacy, we can't really answer that publicly because everybody can see that answer, and we don't want to put that information out there about your child specifically. If you have questions that are very specific, and I don't know, Diana, if you can show that slide again with the phone number, maybe so we can talk about that again so people can see it. That one, yay. So that is, if you have specific questions, that it's best to talk to, like if you're talking about how old your kid is and what, grade and that kind of thing, I encourage you to use the phone bank, and because that way, we're not sharing publicly with everybody your specific child's information. Call the number 972-925-5560, or you can also today from 11 to 1, or you can also call during the week, Monday through Friday, from 7:30 to 5 p.m. There's that's the best way to get that very specific information, and help your child find the best option before the January 31st deadline to submit the application. We have information on the Discover page that's on your screen, www.dallasisd.org/discover, about each of the programs. There's links to the pages for these programs. There's information, like Valerie mentioned, about the open houses and that have passed. And I think there's also like contact information for the schools if the open house has already passed, because we're kind of deep into the application period. You can contact the school directly. So either talk to the principal about the school, or maybe set up a time where you can go visit the school. There's all that information is found on that page. So that might be the best place for you to go and kind of look at that. If your student has an interest in art, look at the schools that offer art. We have that in all the grade levels. It just kind of depends on where, what the grade level your child is on. So it's we have to stay very general. If there are general questions we'll get a copy of all the questions in the Q&A. If there are some general questions that we may not have gotten to, we'll try and put them with answers on that page, the DallasISD.org/discover. But information is there about all the programs. Some of those answers are already there. So we've kind of reached the end of our presentation for today. And we want to thank you for being here with us, for all of your questions. We love the engagement, and we love that you want to know more about these programs and about our schools. And we want you to take advantage of our phone bank today from 11 to 1, 972-925-5560. And I want to thank all of our panelists for being here and providing this information. And I want to thank all of you attendees for participating. This has been really great. And remember, our deadline to submit the application is January 31st. And hopefully many of you will submit that application and be part of our programs. And thank you so much for being here. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday and a great weekend and a great Martin Luther King Day on Monday. Thank you so much.